We are back in Dallas, Esports Stadium, Arlington. Scott, it's been a good day already. Some close games, in fact, earlier on today. We've got a couple of giga-bangers coming up next.
Giga-bangers, yeah. The matches so far today have been absolutely incredible. Gone to 5, Atlanta Reign turning their season around already. So I'm excited to see what these teams are going to pull out. We have the Los Angeles Gladiators taking on the Houston Outlaws, and you know, Houston's had their up and down. They've been doing some certain things, while the Gladiators had a great season so far if you don't think about the 2 reverse sweeps.
Yeah, don't think about that.
No, yeah.
No, forget about it.
It didn't happen.
Forget about it. Let's talk Houston Outlaws real fast.
Yeah.
Scott, they should have the home field advantage here.
Well, it's funny because I predicted the Houston Outlaws on the Watchpoint desk, and the reason I did it is I passed Jake in the halls and he said, Custer, we got something cooking up. We got something good. And if Jake comes to you and he says, we got something cooking up, you have to pred them. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Okay.
When did you make the pred? Before or after you met Jake in the hallway?
After I was going to go for the Gladiators, I'll be honest. I was going to go for the Gladiators. I think they are the favorites heading into this one, but hey, Jake buff.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look, though. The Houston Outlaws, do they come in with the home field advantage? They already beat Dallas in, well, Dallas. So, do they come in with it? The Houston Outlaws, here they are. Oh, yeah. The stage glowing green. We know there's a lot of Houston Outlaws fans in the chat and here live in Arlington. Dante, front and center. We've seen him a lot on Titan recently.
That's going to be the story of this match. They're going to come out with the Darn Tank, the Doomtay. I don't even know what we're calling it at this point, but Dante has been phenomenal for them so far. The question of this series is it going to keep working for them? We've seen them have mixed success, work very early on, but they have started to be countered. So he has an excellent roster around him. This is what makes them such a dominant roster, why we thought they were going to be so good heading into this year. Lasher, Iris on the back line, absolutely incredible. And Pelican, Rookie of the Year, great signing for the Houston Outlaws.
It's just unbelievable damage output from Pelican recently. Like, he has been solo carrying a lot of these team fights. I mean, if you want to look at some of the top DPS players we have right now in the league, you're thinking proper. Pelican is up there. I mean, there's so many scary rookies coming in, but Pelican just holding his ground against all these superstar rookies. Can't call them amateurs now.
Amateurs, check out there.
Bit of a joke. Well, Among Us, pretty sus, not gonna lie. Okay, Gladiators though, their opposition, a little bit of a home field advantage for the Outlaws, but Gladiators coming in strong. There they are. Give some noise to the LA Gladiators. Few cheers. Has to be a thing, right? We're in Texas.
We're in Texas. Of course they're going to get some boos. I don't know if I'd be booing the Gladiators. They seem like the kind of team that if you sort of go against them, they're going to step up. Reiner, the rookie tank for this team, has been absolutely exceptional on that Winston so far this season. He's shown a little bit of Doomfist as well if we want to see that Doomfist mirror matchup. But just the superstar lineup of this Los Angeles Gladiators has been incredible so far. Once again, if we don't talk about that reverse sweep, and that's going to be the story and the narrative of this entire Kickoff Clash event. Are they going to be able to close out against the best teams that we have in the league?
Yeah, it's crazy that we've already seen one reverse sweep today. Astro and Shu in the backline, let's mention them real fast. Astro, just god-tier Lucio player. And Shu, another Ana player that has just stepped up massive. We've seen how important Anas can be, and Shu, one of the best.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was MVP nominee last season just because of how much output he does, not only in the healing, but in the damage as well. He's that playmaking player for the Los Angeles Gladiators, and they're going to need that because if Dante is coming at you on the Doomfist, that Ana needs to be clean and make sure they're hitting those sleep darts to punish.
Of course, Gladiators, they can rotate their DPS too. We've seen a few different shades. Kevster and Paddy starting off, just all out rushing people down ideally, right? I mean, you have Reiner, Astro is just, well, you got Astro in, guess what he's playing?
He's going aggressive.
He's playing Lucio. He's into the back line.
Kev's been having an MVP performance so far this season. Absolutely on that Tracer. What? We almost
Be
saw
careful, Paddy. Okay.
Paddy almost took a dive early on in the match, falling back.
Don't tempt him. Just please. Okay. Chair upright. If you fall over, you know, have a little accident. Not the best showing in your first game of the Kickoff Clash, that's for sure. Lijiang Tower, our first map. Control we always see. Astra coming in. Of course, Lucio player wants to run over people. This tank line matchup, two extremely different styles. When we see Dante, we know it's going to be Doomfist. When we see Ryan, it could be a little bit of Doom, a little bit of Winston.
Well, Jake's being said they've been cooking something up, so maybe we'll see something different from Dante. I doubt it. When Dante is in the lineup, you expect him to play that Doomfist, but I'm excited to see what the Outlaws are going to bring out because, as Johnny said in the pre-show of this, the Gladiators, you know what the Houston Outlaws are going to bring out, especially when Dante's in that lineup. They've so far heavily leaned into that style of playing around the Doomfist, diving aggressively, and so far, right now, it looks like that's what they're going to go with on the first round of Lijiang Tower.
I want to see the Lucios go at it. Lastra has been a fantastic Lucio on top of that too. I mean, the Houston Outlaws just, you know, you ride and die on the Dante Doomfist, especially on control, but Iris and Lastro, two phenomenal, like old school players at this point.
It's interesting if we're going to see the Moira coming out here as well. The San Francisco Shock have really popularized that style so far. What you are able to do is when these first fights happen, Iris can go aggressive. They can play fast and they can get that fast coalescence. Let's see how the Outlaws are going to route around the Los Angeles Gladiators. And interestingly enough, we have Reiner coming out on the Doofus as well in the mirror.
Like in the mirror, I like it. It's just Shu and Iris that have different heroes. Kev's taking the 1v1, has the recall. It's bad news for Pelican, has to retreat to the rest of his team, but Lastro caught off guard. Nice nade by Shu. Pelican, Lastro dead. Outlaws, 3 people down. Point unlocks. The Gladiators steamroll through the Outlaws. The Outlaws want to go faster than that Moira. Gladiators hit a big nade. Easy game.
That's the major difference between the Ana and the Moira right there. The Ana has that ability to get that biotic nade, make it impossible for them to be healed up. Shu is going to have so much impact in this match if they are going to play the Moira. And look at that coalescence charge from Iris here as well. They didn't even get the value that you really want to get from that Moira. They're going to need to play faster. They're going to need to suck any smoke moving picks. And there's against them. Pelican goes down.
Dead, but Shu has fallen for the Gladiators, so has Astro. No healing for the Gladiators now. It is a 2-on-3, so you'd imagine the Gladiators win, but Merrick is still alive. That sustain, not only from the Moira, but from his shotguns, just winning them that fight. The Gladiators lost Shu and Funny Astro so early, they just couldn't sustain against the Moira. Post-bomb comes out from Kevster, over-ambitious. Gladiators building up 33% now as the Outlaws find the cap.
Questionable commitment of the pulse bomb right there from Kevster. Maybe he was thinking he could turn that around. The Houston Outlaws playing that aggressive style, but this is just going. The Gladiators want to fight again, and they have Shu with that nano.
Yeah, Pelican went in, used the recall already, and now the Outlaws have to be worried about this visor, and a nano one at that. Lastro already dead. Dante, those fists aren't going to save you now. Gladiators, clean sweep of the Outlaws. 4 kills for Paddy. Does he make it 5? No, he does not. Shu finds the last and a very quick flip.
Paddy Pan showing up in this match so far, and he needs to show up in this Kickoff Clash playoffs. He has been struggling on that Soldier so far throughout the tournament because what's been happening is he is either gone too aggressive or too passive, and he hasn't got the value from the visors. Great signs for the Gladiators that it's already paying off for them.
Outlaws want to be able to go fast, speed boost with that Coalescence, jump to the back line, maybe use the Pulse, or even speed boost the Death Blossom. Meteor Strike being used by Reiner straight onto the health pack. Not using offensively whatsoever. Can he get the punch on the Moira? He cannot, but Dante actually ends up going down. Huge pick by Reiner, who was escaping for his life not just a moment ago. Sound barrier from Astro. And the Gladiators, they beat the Outlaws back, but only for a moment.
With that empowered punch as well that Reiner got, he also cancelled the coalescence from Iris. So that one big ultimate that they've been working towards gets cancelled immediately. The Gladiators looking strong, heading in 80% one-fight territory here for the Gladiators, but the Houston Outlaws, they have ultimates.
Lastro wants to watch his back here. He's got the beat, and Kevster has the pulse. The Outlaws, they're trying to make their way onto the point, but Pelican's already dead. Outlaws need to make something happen fast. 10% to go before the Glads take the first round. And Shu is building up so quickly towards that nano boost. The beat comes out. It hits 4 of the Outlaws. They try and make their way onto the point. Merrick jumps down from the rafters and kills both supports. The Outlaws doing what they needed to do. The Gladiators, they do lose control off of that Death Blossom. The Glads can come back with a nanovisor.
Good play by the Houston Outlaws, especially with Pelican going down early, but now you have to work up from that. They have no ultimates, while the Los Angeles Gladiators are leading up to it, and Shu and Paddy Pan with that nano visor, if they can do it again, they'll close out this first round.
No, they can't follow up on a sleep onto Pelican. It was nice by Shu, but it was too far away to really do anything. 20% away before the nano visor can be deployed. Houston Outlaws want to play back, make sure Dante can get a lot of value.
Get that visor up as well. That, you can tell they're just playing slow. They know they have that advantage of the ultimates. Outlaws aren't very close to them, so they're just waiting for it. They're about to pull the trigger.
Couple of seconds to go. There it is. Tactical visor online. Shu behind him with a nano. Whoa, already. Pelican gets shot out of the skies. Nano visor deployed. Paddy Pan gets knocked off, but he still takes Dante with him. Now 2 kills for the Outlaws. Shu and Paddy end up falling. The Gladiators still need to fight on the point, but it looks like they are maintaining control. Kevster can lock this point down with a pulse bomb, but it's now up to the Outlaws to try and touch. OT is triggered. Lastro chase down. One less person for the Outlaws to get back to that point in time, but it looks like the reinforcements have arrived. A lot of ultimates for the Outlaws, but the Gladiators riding on this pulse bomb. Maybe he decides to go again, but the flip hasn't yet come through. The coalescence signals the Gladiators to pull back just a little bit, but Kevster says no. Pulse bomb on to Merit. Gladiators are up. One person launched the beat in. Shu doesn't receive it, but it doesn't matter because Dante's already dead. The Outlaws trying to get back to the point in time. 85% in building, but the Gladiators are still finding kills.
We're going into 90%. Houston Outlaws, if they can make it to the point, they can make anything happen.
OT here, there's the Lucio. Lastro making it back to the point. Merrick needs to find something special. Teleport on, but he's no HP. Instantly killed off by Kevster. OT ticking down. Paddy sitting in his healing station. It does fade away, but Merritt falling does mean a lot of damage away for the Outlaws now. A good beat from Lastro. An anti-aid is going to get negated by those over health, but Lastro is still finding kills. The Gladiators, one by one, picking Outlaws to shreds.
It's the
round 1 to the Gladiators.
It's the alley-oop by Reiner and Funny Astro onto Dante that puts the nail in the coffin for the Houston Outlaws. The Gladiators coming out and showing their prowess. Kevster having that dominant performance on that Tracer early on, really just maneuvering around the Houston Outlaws, diffing Pelican on that Tracer, and that pulse bomb heading into that final fight on Merit really being the difference.
Now this is the thing with the Gladiators, this team that they're running with into control, they can switch up.
The rush composition.
Yeah.
They've shown it. They showed it recently against the Atlanta Reign. Some of us thought it might have been mental warfare, but they're proving that it actually is a strategy that they believe in. Paddy Pan on the May as well. Has struggled so far this season, as I said, but his May has looked clean. They're going on to something that maybe the Houston Outlaws won't expect.
Just posturing, that's all they really need to do. Take control of the server room. Dante getting a powered up punch. That's a big slam, good counter pin. But Paddy Pan can put up a wall at any time he chooses and separate the rest of the Outlaws. There you go, Dante is dead. Unfortunately, he doesn't have armor, so a little more squishy. When you do go for that counter pin, you both go down. Gladiators off to a good start, point unlocks.
And it becomes harder and harder when you are playing against a May to enter into this point. The Gladiators, they're able to dictate when they want to take this fight. Paddy Pan already here, up goes the May wall, pushing them through a choke.
Big wall, Reiner can now swing basically for free. Iris goes down already, and the Outlaws struggling to get anything done. That May wall, yeah, it didn't obfuscate the Outlaws. They still find a small path, but they run just into a wall of damage.
Reiner's just sitting there with the hammer, waiting for them to come through. And now you have to question, are the Houston Outlaws going to be able to find some purchase on this fight? You can see they're waiting for it. Dante has that empowered punch. Keep an eye on that. I think he's going on a long flank here, potentially going to come in hard and fast.
It's only 30% for the Glads right now, so it's not the worst.
Down he goes.
There's another counter pin. Nice. Focus fire from Kevster. There's a okay, Kevster just going ham. Okay, sit behind the window. Does a lot of damage, by the way. Cassidy, yeah, still with the magnetic grenade and a couple of headshots will do it. And with Kevster's aim, you're never missing a single one of them. Straight to spawn. Dante peeks his head out, and he's already dead.
Kevster showing his flexibility, flexing his MVP muscles a little bit here. And the Outlaws haven't even looked close to getting into one of these fights. Iris is only about to get up to a coalescence, so this has to be the fight in which they're going to find some form of contest.
Yeah, I'm going aggressive, and hey, you could get a couple of tanks on here with a copy. Pelican go for a small flank. Would seem like a good copy target. Nice wall once again to stop Dante and Pelican having a word in this fight. High Noon finds Dante potentially having the worst game of Doomfist I've seen Dante play. He's just not being able to get anything done. The Gladiators, 80% Scott. The Outlaws have not touched the point.
losing these supports late is going to hurt them as well. All of a sudden, how do they get to the point? I wouldn't be surprised to see Dante use this Meteor Strike just to get to the point, because 90% and counting, and they're not even close.
Iris has actually switched over to the Ana. Maybe wants to go for a Hail Mary nade. Reiner on the side, he's got the shadow, lined it up, knocked him down. Goodbye, Iris. That change didn't mean anything. Oh, Ice Block in the way of Reiner there. Unlucky, I guess.
Paddy's griefing Reiner here as he tries to make that contest.
Outlaws, though, they do end up flipping, and Merit does go down, so should be a fairly easy clean-up. The Reinhardt against 3 extremely mobile characters is going to fall pretty fast. Immortality failed to save his life. Can the Outlaws have a say in this fight? I'm not sure. They actually open up with a window, focus down Dante, and in fact, Reiner's just jump into the backline. Pelican already dies. That's a single headshot kill up in the sky. Reiner going pretty low, but the rest of his team are keeping him alive and well. This is the man that you want to watch, though. Kevster, just unbelievable deadlift right now in terms of damage. Shu does fall to Dante, but Merit gets a double stick out of nowhere. OT is here, and the Gladiators have control of the point still, but Merit saving them at the very last moment.
That is a clutch pulse bomb right there. You could feel it slipping away from them. Dante was about to go down, caught in the backline. So now it gets harder for the Los Angeles Gladiators. All of a sudden, the Mei, it's very good to defend with, but attacking it can be very hard to find those initiations, especially the Houston Outlaws playing a dive composition. You're going to see them spread out on this point. Wait for the Los Angeles Gladiators to walk into them, and then find their moment to strike. They have no ultimate other than Pelican's copy. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Rhine-on-Rhine action here.
Nice nade from the Outlaws. 3 glow, bright purple, but look at that. The Immortality field saving Reiner, Shu, and Funny Astro from instantly dying. Kevster and Paddy, the DPS, take out Merit and Dante. A copy might be good, but it's only onto a Cassidy. Has he got the damage really at all, or even an angle to try and get onto this point? It's 62% for the Outlaws. Pelican's got the Deadeye. The value could be fairly big if he gets him in the back, but no, everybody just escorted away by Astro. A beat to put Gladiators back in control, but this nano boost onto Dante might be good enough, but Shu on the high ground is just doing absurd amount of damage and healing. No one's going to be able to dislodge him. Dante going pretty low, fist is up, but Shu still doing work. Dante's finally found him, but Shu doesn't go down and he kills Dante! The Gladiators now assume control, and 99% should tick over. Shu with another kill! The Gladiators take map number 1.
How does he keep doing this? Shu on the Baptiste is a better DPS than anyone else on the server right now. I think he gets 4 or 5 final blows in that one. He gets onto that high ground and is just shooting, raining down onto the Houston Outlaws with no way to get him down.
How can you stop that? Dante tried twice. Yeah, I mean, you don't, right? But Dante tried twice to get out there, just using the seismic slam, and he either slightly missed or just gets shot out of the sky by Shu. The Gladiators up a map 2-0 on control. The Houston Outlaws, maybe they have that lamb buff, but we'll have to wait and find out after this break. Welcome back to the Commonwealth cast.
Oh, we're here. The Commonwealth have made it.
Yeah, finally taken over the league. Let's go. The Gladiators versus the Outlaws. The Gladiators 2-0 in that control map. And Scott, you may have been lied to, just maybe. I'm not sure what Jake's secret source or plan is, but there's no subs.
I feel like Jake might have just lied to me to gain some favor, gain my prediction, you know, because they're going to keep Dante in unless I said it's something crazy like a Dante Sigma or something like that. It seems like they're going to lean onto this Doomfist play. And the worrying thing if you're the Houston Outlaws right now is they played the mirror. They did it on Lijiang Tower in that first round, and Reiner proved that he can hang with Dante.
Yeah, the only real difference there was the Moira versus the Ana.
Yeah.
And the Gladiators, they came on top with the Ana like over and over again. I mean, we saw Shu go absolutely crazy with the nades. It's definitely Morbin time, that's for sure.
Yeah. You had to get that one in there, didn't you?
I saw the sign, you know.
Yeah, of course. You got to get one in.
If Matt can make the joke, who is normally at least a couple of months behind relevant jokes, then I can make it.
Matt, the boomer of the Overwatch League, if he can get that one in, you definitely can. We're going on to Eichenwalde. It's going to be interesting to see what we get from both of these teams. The Los Angeles Gladiators, they have a deep bag of tricks. They've shown us many looks. Are they going to try that rush style on the first point? How do you protect against that? They're going to play their traditional Winston style. They have so many tools in their arsenal. How do the Houston Outlaws prepare for it?
Yeah, that's a big question, because you know what the Outlaws are going to play, unless this is the secret source. Maybe Dante has been playing Orisa.
Orisa. Yeah. We've already seen it pulled out once today by Mag, and it was legendary. It didn't work, but it was legendary. So maybe we can see the same thing from Dante.
I mean, maybe so. Looks like Glads are on the defense first, so at least they get to see what they're pulling out. But it makes the most sense, right? Just put Reiner back on the Rhine. If you're not subbing out Astro, go straight on the Lucio and just fill up. Same plan for Kevster and Patty. I mean, Kevster can basically play anything under the sun.
That can be said for the entire Los Angeles Gladiators roster, and that's what makes them incredible. Patty Pan, a player who has come in, we haven't seen that much flexibility from him so far in this season, but he does have that. He's that flex DPS player. When you put him and Kevster together, there's almost nothing that they can't play. We've actually seen them flex between the Genji as well, but it looks like right now the Gladiators are going to go to their tried and true Winston Soldier Tracer style.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Jump to the back line. Kill off Lastro. Shit a cheeky nade. Whew. You ever did stone skimming as a kid? Like,
oh yeah,
across the pond?
I was awful at it. It was like 2 max, otherwise it would just hit it. Or you just like throw it in and it just plonks. And you're like, well, this sucks. That was embarrassing. I got to get another stone.
Well, you were 8. Oh, this is embarrassing. It sucks. Well, let's see what Outlaws want to run. I don't mind the Moira at all. Like I said, you want to go really fast, right? Dive to the back line ASAP, pick off an Ana who's, I wouldn't say vulnerable. She has 2 very defensive abilities in the nade and the sleep, but Iris did not have a good time.
No, and the problem with this Moira is you have a lot of throughput with your healing, with your damage, but you don't have a lot of utility like the Ana does with the sleep dart and the nade. You're going to see the Houston Outlaws routing around the Gladiators. Are they going to go all the way through spawn, or are they just going to hold up in this mini pack room?
Just wait for some cooldowns maybe, wait for that orb, wait for the fade. If Iris used that, looks like going to the pub.
Commonwealth, you know, they have to go to the pub.
They have to, yeah. I mean, Astro's on the Gladiators too, so there we go. Kevster in a little bit of trouble. This is where the Outlaws want to be. They want to just plant Mirror on the point, make Reiner fight him in a 1v1. Straight up in the face. There you go. They've already made the Gladiators retreat and secured a tick. Gladiators need to push forward, and they're a bit scared of Merit on the side, but blowing his Wraith form does mean that they... no, he's going to play a little bit more defensive. Dive in from Reiner, going extraordinarily low. But Lastro does fall, so 1-for-1. Limited healing now for the Outlaws, but Dante falling, no speed boost to get him away from Kevster. The Gladiators are working their way up to an Ana boost so quickly, 10% away already. It looks like Reiner's going to actually come back on the Doomfist, and Kevster just rolling Iris, forcing him all the way back.
Reiner proving that he's comfortable in this Doomfist matchup. I like what the Houston Outlaws did there, setting it up. They wanted to go behind them, make it so the Gladiators feel they have to walk into you. That cannot happen if you are Lastro on the Houston Outlaws. You can't be giving away a free kill like that. What's that? 20 seconds off the clock?
Yeah, not great. Well, the Outlaws, they build up what they need to build up, which is the Coalescence. So at least got that in this fight. But Gladiators, you would expect Moira to build up the Coal before this Nano, but Shu and Patty Pan already have that Nano Visor available.
They're going to respond. As soon as they use that Coalescence, we're going to see Patty.
They're actually going with Nano onto Reiner. Yeah, there's no way you're escaping that one. Beautiful sleep onto Iris too. Wow. I mean, you don't need the visor if everybody's cowering in a very small room. Just charge up that punch, and everybody is as good as pulp on the floor. Lasher and Pelican die, and now, I mean, half the time bank gone. Pelican used his pulse, but they've got a beat and a coalescence for this next fight.
I wasn't expecting that one. Either was the Houston Outlaws with the Doomfist Nano in. The silver lining, if you are the Outlaws, you kept that coalescence for Iris. You still have that engage tool. Shu does not have that nano, so you're going to be able to play aggressive. Patty Pan, how is he going to use this visor effectively to mitigate the coalescence?
Dante just going in, taking a whole heap of damage. Almost got pulsed. Would have died for sure. Kev should just walk in, just WM1ing. Oh, beautiful little diag. Doesn't quite get much. There's the Meteor Strike. Beat has been used from the Los Angeles Gladiators. Dante now in the pub, looking for a fight. Shu goes down, and now it's only Astro to heal the rest of the Gladiators. Outlaws using the beat should signal the end of the fight for the Glads unless they pull off a miracle. Doesn't look like it. Reiner can't do it. Now Astro skirting his way around the point, but the Outlaws looking to win. Should be a clean sweep. Astro still not dead somehow. There we go. Finally dies. And the point is unlocked.
Great engagement from Dante there, finding that opening, utilizing that coalescence very, very well. The Gladiators looking quite poor in terms of ultimates now, but we go on to the second point of Eichenwalde. Almost everyone's least favorite thing to do because it becomes a battle of who can control that castle. The Gladiators already getting Patty Pan set up there, get Shu set up there. It becomes very difficult. Merit on that Reaper though, he's already in the basement. He's lurking around. You've got to keep an eye on him because that Death Blossom could turn this fight very quickly.
As edgy as you can get. Whoops, a daisy. That war will fill it in the morning, I'm sure. The Outlaws not too fussed about that one. Without a pulse bomb, Kevster is a little less dangerous. Dante going so low. What a sleep. Can they follow up? Don't think so. A bio grenade onto Dante, and Kevster just follows up with the kill. Nice positioning from Shu there. And now the payload hasn't been stopped. The Outlaws, I don't think they want to fight. Kevster building up towards a pulse bomb pretty quickly, but it's going to be about Shu in this next engagement. This nano boost can be used to what? Save Paddy or save Reiner from any dangerous engagements.
You can see the Houston Outlaws, they're just sort of setting up on the castle. Dante's already in though.
Nano boost onto Paddy, he's running forward. Merit hit in the Death Blossom, kills Shu, but Paddy surviving through all that damage. With the damage mitigation of the nano boost. There's the Cole. We're finally seeing it, but it's not getting too much damage done, just mainly healing. I say that as Reiner ends up going down, potentially trying to stop the Cole from getting any more effectiveness by punching it, but that didn't end up working out, and the Outlaws now making their way with the payload.
Small corridor with the coalescence. Seems good for the Houston Outlaws.
Good.
The Gladiators walking in somewhere they shouldn't have, but now we have the Outlaws pushing it across the bridge. They have that last row beat. Patty Pan with the visor. How is the Los Angeles Gladiators going to enter?
Pelican might come up big. There's the pulse. It gets cancelled though. Paddy with a bullet to the brain takes out Pelican. The Gladiators now pushing forward with the beat. Outlaws respond in kind. They push Astro back and actually get a stun, but he's a slippery Lucio and he does get away. Paddy on the flank with a tactical visor. Is not finding any kills, but is finding a ton of damage, helping secure the kill, not only onto Merit, but to Dante. They stop the payload just before the doors, and with 1:17 to go, and the bank of the Outlaws looking rather bare, not a good sign.
Paddy making those legs runs all the way behind the Houston Outlaws, gets that great visor after the beat from Lastro wears off, and it just pays off for them. But now Houston Outlaws, they go back to step one. They need to get control of that castle. They need to dislodge Patty Pan and Shu from this spot again. You have to question if they should make some switches or if this is going to work with no ultimates and only 49 seconds remaining, and Dante's dead before the fight's even begun.
That could not happen right now. Ooh, that was close. Gets healed up by Shu. And now with 40 seconds to go, at least they trade, right? Paddy is dead, and the Outlaws are now putting themselves on the payload. It's a 5v5. Kevster's going pretty low too. A nice position from Shu though, all the way at the back, and an unbelievable nade.
Iris coalescence.
That Wraith. Coalescence from Iris, yeah, it's going to be pretty important for this next engagement, but they have to survive it first. Shu ends up going down. Dante came back from spawn, paid him a little visit, and the coalescence is good. Reiner ends up falling, and there you go, the payload has sunk in, and the Outlaws, they're making it work, but it's the coalescence that's really just pushing them over the edge.
It is that primary ultimate that they want to get up as fast as possible. That's their big win condition. It gives you that healing, that damage to be able to deal with the Los Angeles Gladiators. You need to see those differences between the Ana. Shu has that nano boost. They're going to use that to go aggressive. Are they going to nano Reiner again to get aggressive? But Merit is already behind, and he is close to that Death Blossom.
Dante's got that powered up punch. Fortunately, he doesn't have a nano because he's got a Moira, but that's okay. Speaking of nanos, though, Gladiators have both the nano and the support, the other support ult. That beats. Nice little nano onto Reiner, powered up punch 2. Dante's in trouble. Sends himself to the heavens, but can he find any kills? Yes. Helps Merit secure the kill onto Paddy. And the Gladiators have to use that beat to try and find something in this fight. Merit's just waiting for that overhealth to disappear. He's got the Death Blossom in tow. Astro in trouble, ends up falling. 49 seconds, and the Outlaws, they're making their way to third with ease.
That late beat by Funny Astro might cost them heavily. They're going aggressive. They see blood in the water and they're going to go aggressive. Don't let the Gladiators out of the door.
2 meters to go, and Merit finds a kill with the Death Blossom, and now Kevs is the one to touch. Almost gets 1 tap there by Merit. Make that a 4 tap. Reiner, someone, Astro, now Padapan, they have to touch the point. Astro's going to get burnt down. That right click of the Moira, way too strong apparently. Merit cleans on up, and the Outlaws complete with time.
That is an important cap for the Houston Outlaws. It's about gaining confidence in the matchup against the Los Angeles Gladiators. They were starting to stumble, but getting that second point capture, and now they finish with time. A very important thing for them. Gladiators, though, are they going to come out on the mirror? Are they confident in their ability to adapt against this style by the Outlaws?
I love the signs already, by the way. Beautiful stuff. I like the little cat in the bottom left. Excellent stuff.
I love me some cats.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me bring my cat to Texas.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I asked.
Crazy.
I have 3 of them. They didn't let me bring any of them.
That's crazy.
What's the point?
Yeah, it would have almost been like all of us being allergic to cats and just sneezing everywhere.
That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
It does sound like a me problem, yeah. It's unfortunate. Okay, no, I'm not doing it.
I know
they might look a little sus later, though. We'll see if Sparkle busts out the sussy later. We'll see.
It's interesting to see the Outlaws leaning heavily onto this Reaper. It's something that we've seen the Dallas Fuel play heavily with the Xayah. You get that effectiveness, but Merit likes playing it with the Doomfist, and you can understand why. It feels very hard to deal with the Doomfist, the Reaper, the Tracer. There's just so many threats, and then you add on top of that, it's hard to punish the backline. There's no one protecting the backline, but Iris is a Moira. They can protect themselves and heal themselves up. So it'll be interesting to see how the Gladiators are going to make adjustments, if they'll go to the Reaper themselves, or they're just going to stick with what they know works.
Go on, Kevster. Go on, son.
Speaking of what works, this never works. Yeah, I don't think we've seen that work.
No. So the Hog and the Bastion thing, that's been tried for so many seasons now, it worked once. So eventually that will work.
One of these days,
it'll be fine. Okay, yeah, so we're seeing kind of the same thing we've seen before. Shu on the Ana still, Iris on the Moira. They're not playing too far up, those guys.
You can tell the Outlaws, they want them to come into them. They have that Reaper. They want to play those corners. So as soon as the Gladiators turn, they go.
Nice punch. Nice sleep, though. Healing Station actually keeping Shu alive through all of that damage. So you're a third support. It's insane. The Gladiators trying to punish Dante as much as possible. Dante gets punched out of his power block, doesn't find the empower to punch, and unfortunately, Reiner does. Stuns incoming if they can find kills. Yes, there you go. The main healer now down for the Outlaws, and Dante was soon to follow. The Gladiators already building up to not only a Meteor Strike, but a Pulse Bomb. Unreal ult charge generation from the Glads.
Look at Dante's as well. He's only at 46%. Reiner having immense impact on that first point, especially with that pick up on Iris. Iris, as the Moira, very self-sufficient here, cannot be getting picked off like that. But now, that wealth of ultimates that we talked about from the Gladiators, they can use them pushing into this second point.
At least they get high ground advantage, but they're going to forego it and just fight the close fight. Kevster misses the pulse. Dante looking to punish, but it's not going to happen. I don't think they expected Reiner to have the ultimate that early on. Pelican finds a nice pulse bomb, though, on an unlikely target in Astro. Good start for the Outlaws. They can hold the gate, and it's not even open yet, Scott, so they're fighting exactly where they want to.
This is an important thing that people have been doing since the beginning of time. Fight early so that the gate never opens. So even if the Gladiators do win this fight, they're going to have to wait for that time for the gate to open. As you can tell, this is a lot of time off the clock, and if you're the Outlaws, you didn't really even commit anything. Pelican used that Pulse Bomb, got that connection, and now the Gladiators have to use their own Pulse Bomb and the Meteor Strike.
Yeah, I mean, the Outlaws have that Coalescence on again. That's the thing that's been winning them a lot of these fights. And in fact, well, Meteor Strike, Death Blossom's coming up. Got the beat, should be good. They just got to avoid Shu, ideally, right?
Just avoid Shu. It sounds easier than saying it.
I know. If you get naded, you're pretty much done. You have to force the beats. Oh, Iris once again punched out of that Coalescence and killed off by Kevster. There's no way that the Outlaws can continue to let this happen. There's the Nano Visor in a small corridor. Merit falls to Shu, and Paddy now just clean it up. Dante kills the support eventually, but Shu had already done as much work as you could really expect from the Ana. The Gladiators, and I mean, well, Iris, just Coalescence, that's the tool they've been winning fights, and Reiner interrupts another one.
Another one, that's the important thing, because Iris needs to be getting these, and Houston Outlaws, they use both of their support ultimates there. They don't have many answers to the Gladiators' aggression.
Looking for that Kobe post spot. So many people gathered onto the left-hand side. Kevster trying to push out Dante. There it is, gets the stick. Power block off, but it doesn't matter. Kevster with a perfect start to the fight. Hits the recall, so he's a little bit more squishy now. But it doesn't really seem to matter. Beautiful double blink all the way to the back, and Iris once again falls. Reiner got his number in this game. The Gladiators with a humongous time bank. 3 minutes are going to unlock that castle door. The Outlaws, they may need some of that Jake's secret sauce, Scott, because right now, it's not looking good.
We've already determined, I think he was lying to us, unless the Moira was the secret sauce, but the secret sauce isn't that good then, because it has not worked for them on this defense. When they are that defensive team, it doesn't feel like they're able to control the tempo. Gladiators, they're going first, but we actually see a switch from Shu in that fight, going to the Moira himself.
Okay, Cole versus Cole, that's what maybe you want to see. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, not many.
Not many. Look how defensive they're playing. Like you mentioned, they want to play around these corners so Reaper gets maximum effectiveness. Coalescence from Iris. But Dante is dead again. Astro cleaning up the kill. The Gladiators, their focus fire is just so good. Shu's going to be able to Coalescence almost directly after this fight. Post bomb, tactical visor. The Gladiators just full send right now. Lastro ends up going down. A Wraiththorn forced out by Merit, so he has to run back to spawn. The Gladiators just running away with this game. Skill abuse to kill Dante, and look at that. A 4 minute and 12 time bank versus a single minute for the Outlaws.
That wasn't very good for the Houston Outlaws, and it just feels like the Gladiators have sort of understood how they want to play against this style. Isolate Dante. As soon as Dante goes too aggressive, he uses that power block. He feels like he doesn't have that exit. Maybe not enough healing with Iris on that Moira. That individual healing might not be there for the Doomfist.
And if you're forcing out that fade super early, it's pretty easy to go, hey, we just dive on this, right? I mean, Moira, if she's used to orb early too, like that's a whole lot of self-healing that's disappearing.
412 on the bank. This is an insurmountable amount of time, but the silver lining, Eichenwalde is a map that if they can get that first fight win, they can get the gate open, they can win with their first ultimate cycle, all of a sudden you can end up on that second point bridge, and 4 minutes 12 doesn't matter as much as you would think it would. So Houston Outlaws, are they going to be able to find some adjustments, and it needs to be on the back of Dante on that Doomfist. Merit Reaper though, what do you think of it? Because it feels like Patty Pan, that visor is just getting way more value than the Death Blossom. Yeah, the Outlaws, they're trying to hold super close with the Reaper, but Patty Pan's just sitting all the way at the back, and then Dante's just focused out there. Dante's trying to make some space, and then use the power block, and well, as soon as that's gone, the Doomfist a little bit more squishy. You don't block 90% of damage, you know, if you're just kind of standing there. 90% doesn't matter if you take 1 million damage, so. Yeah, I mean, okay, simple maths, I suppose. Quick maths. The power block from Dante. He's going in. Straight to the back. Does miss the punch, a little bit short. And now without the power block. Oh, tries to go for the quick punch, but Paddy again, like you just said, Scott, like, he's sitting all the way at the back. Paddy Pan's running away with this. There's, what, 25 seconds now? Maybe the Gladiators can come back, they can speed boost, but looking rather unlikely, and Kevster's already near that pulse. And that becomes the problem of all of a sudden you're working uphill, and you saw how much distance Dante had to cross to even get close to Patty Pan, and then he just falls over with the sheer amount of damage that's coming in. Outlaws, one more fight to be able to keep their hopes alive in Eichenwalde. Nice punch by Reiner and Dante, sending them both to ground, but Dante is super low. Again, that nade being so good from Shu, stopping Dante from getting healing, and he has to play a little bit more safe. Reiner did get stunned, I assume from a Dante pulse, but there's the stick. Unreal from Pelican, but that's the fight opener that they really needed. Shu with 5% away from that nano. The visor's coming out. It's just a plain one, but it still kills Dante. Keep Paddy alive, you should be good. The nano applied. Can he take down Merit? Merit is diving and dodging, but he can't quite get away. Shu takes out Lastro with a big bio grenade, and the Gladiators are going to be able to defend. 36%. The Outlaws, they've got a chance to win this map, but it's looking slim. winnable? Maybe? Probably not. They have a monumental task ahead of them to full hold the Gladiators. Just do a mental reset. All they have to do is full hold on this first point. The problem becomes the Gladiators on their last offensive cycle. It wasn't close. They absolutely rolled through them. And when the Gladiators are playing that soldier, it feels like they're able to set the tempo because it feels like the Outlaws, they're on that clock. When you're playing that Reaper, he has no mid-range damage. He needs to get up in their face. And it's hard for him to get up in their face if they don't have that Zarya bubble.
That's a face I like to see. Astro with a cheeky grin. And not only that, that healing station is crazy. I wonder if they do change it a little bit later on, because you just pop it on the ground, and then Shu just nades the floor right next to you. The healing is insane.
What are you saying, Jack?
Nothing.
You know, these soldiers can finally heal themselves. The DPS players can finally heal themselves, and they don't have to keep spamming, I need healing, because they can heal themselves. This is a great time for us. They don't need us anymore.
That is true. Maybe we could just do more damage.
That's true. Wait, it's Shu. Of course he's going to start doing more damage. Maybe Paddy keeps putting it down because he knows he's not getting healing from Shu.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely would.
Hi, maybe this time it'll work. Here we go, Kevster. Round 2.
Come on, son. Whoa. Okay. It's all right.
Pelican giving him a look. We're going to see the exact same compositions once again from the Gladiators on attack and the Outlaws. What are the adjustments that the Outlaws are going to make here on their defense? You can see the Reaper holding out in this glass room. Are they going to just maneuver around him? No, the Houston Outlaws going first.
There's a big sleep onto Dante. Again, just antied instantly, and Shu and Funny Astro escorting each other all the way back. Merit, Dante dead. Outlaws' hopes now dwindling. Pelican falls, and would you look at that? Easy fight. Gladiators just roll over the Outlaws, and now it's 2-0. That's it. They're a match point now, Scott. Something might need to change. The Gladiators, we spoke a lot about them at the start of the season. Their roster looks stacked. They're able to play so many different compositions with the players in their lineup. When you have the Outlaws come in with this lineup, you know what they're going to play. They're going to play the Dante Doom. But the Glads, currently, they're getting the better of them on this Doomfist matchup.
It almost feels a little one-dimensional for the Houston Outlaws. It doesn't feel like they have that ability to mix things up when they have Dante in the roster. When things aren't going well, it feels like the Gladiators, they can just pick and choose how they want to play, how they want to engage, what compositions they want to play. So the Houston Outlaws, maybe if they haven't pulled out the secret sauce yet, maybe it's time to pull it out.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The Outlaws boys looking a little bit down. I'm sure the crowd could help with that. We're going to jump to a quick break. We'll see you in a bit. the myth, the Luchador, 200 League tokens, and that skin, that beautiful skin, could be yours. It's on sale through till June 25th. I had to look around then. I was looking away. May 17th to June 25th, 200 League tokens for the Luchador Reaper skin. Looking pretty clean. We're seeing a lot of Reaper as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, Merrick could definitely use that skin right here. It puts jumping from the top rope to a whole new level when you get to play the Reaper with that skin. But, you know, this match, the Gladiators, looking very clean so far in the Kickoff Clash.
Familiar situation for the Glads, being 2-0 up in a series. Thoughts?
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yep.
You had to bring up Gladiators being up 2-0, but yes, it is the familiar story. The Gladiators got reverse swept already this season against the Dallas Fuel and the San Francisco Shock. The Houston Outlaws maybe not on the same caliber as those two teams, but they're no slouches. They can definitely start a reverse sweep.
There he is. Piggy coming in for the Outlaws. Dante taking a step back. This is potentially what they needed, right? Just a quick switch up. Dante not doing as well as I think everybody expected him to on the Doomfist. So we got Piggy coming in. Circuit Royale was actually the map chosen. So where does that lead us?
Very different map type to every other one we've seen so far, because it is the one map we see a lot of Widowmaker, and there's the man that you want to see if we talk about Widowmaker. Arn subbing in for Paddy Pan. He's done it time and time again. He did it in the 2020 season for the Shock, and he's been doing it this season for the Gladiators.
Definitely one of my favorite players to watch for sure. Just cracked on the Widow. And there you go. Another face people love to see. We got space. Off tank for the Glads, and hey, Circuit Royale, you're going to see some Space Sigma.
It's my boy. It's my boy, all the way from back in 2018. Phenomenal tank player, phenomenal leader for this Gladiators. We haven't seen him so much throughout this season because he's the off-tank player, and Ryan has been doing such a phenomenal job on those main tank heroes, but we've seen him come in just last weekend on the Sigma and hit the world's sickest prediction rock that I've seen in the Overwatch
on
League.
the recalling tracer, I do remember that. Space looking clean, and Skewed swapping in for Funny. Astro Skewed also in that series had just a phenomenal game on the Zen. He also helped Space with that prediction, just throw in a couple of orbs directly where the Tracer recalled the head. That was disgusting stuff. And, well, we said about Outlaws, well, you know what they're running if Dante is coming in, right? Circuit Royale in itself is like that. Most teams right now just running Sig.
Yeah, and that becomes the thing. Like the Houston Outlaws, we're definitely not going to see the Doomfist. We have Piggy coming in, so we expect to see him probably playing that Sigma mirror matchup. But his shoe stats from Eichenwalde, that's a lot of healing.
That's unreal amounts of enemy slept and bio grenade kills. Like every single time he had that cooldown up, he was throwing it, and yeah, it did put a nasty dent in the offense of the Outlaws. Like Dante was consistently going in, he was either getting slept or naded, and it's pretty tough to come back from that position, especially if you've got that power block up. That sleep goes through the power block, you're down on the ground, you have no real defensive tools, you hope you have Seismic Slam and your team can back you up, but it's a pretty tough situation to be in.
And that's it, and that's why so many people have been leaning towards that Ana over the Moira, even though the Moira can put up the same numbers in terms of healing and damage as we see from the Ana. That utility that the Ana, and particularly Shu, can put out on that hero is nuts. But we go on to Circuit Royale, and the interesting thing is we're going to see nothing like we've seen in the last two maps. We have potentially double flex support coming in from the Los Angeles Gladiators. We know Lastro can play flex support pretty well for the Houston Outlaws as well.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a lot of these players end up on their comfort heroes, and a very different look to what we've seen in the series so far.
I'm just scared. I'm going to be real.
The reverse sweep, is it lingering in your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there, isn't it? It's that fluttering feeling that if you're a Gladiators fan.
But this could be the game, the series, to remove that curse, right? I mean, that's another thing to kind of think about. You bring in Space, an unbelievable tank player, like award-winning, and you also have a Skewed in the backline on the Zen, another cracked Zen player. Like, you expect, especially the way the Outlaws are playing right now, very aggro, want to get Dante into good positions, want to be able to set up the Reaper, you know, merit, but you've put a lot of that to rest when you have Shu in your back pocket. Scary stuff. We should be getting into map momentarily with Circuit Royale. Is the one we're going to.
The thing that I'm looking for in this matchup, we haven't seen as much Merit Widow so far in the league since he's come in as a rookie. He's been great on that Soldier. We even saw some great plays from him on the Reaper. But the Widow to Widow head-to-head matchup is where we've seen a lot of the Circuit Royale maps be determined. When players are able to get those long sight lines, take control of the game, it gets very hard for you to move around the map. And as a rookie, I'm sure the person I don't want to see in the lobby with me is Arns.
Yeah. It's crazy too. His aim is obviously quite godlike, but he took a small break and then came back and it's like, wow, it's sort of the same old Arns, you know? But, I mean, Pelican maybe has something to say in that small little duel, right? You can put a bit of pressure on the back line. As soon as that Widow's under pressure, your Widow gets a free ticket to kills.
The question that I have for this team is, are we going to see a different look from the Houston Outlaws? We talk about maybe we get this Sigma head-to-head matchup. Houston Outlaws, they have shown the willingness to play Rush on it before. Piggy's Ryan did get a little bit chatty-diffed, but it was still not a bad look. They went on to win that map. We got to see some incredible Hanzo play on the back of that as well. It's something that you can't just discredit and you can't just assume they're not going to do again.
Yeah, dude. Jake, are you in the building?
He's here somewhere, because remember, he lied to me somewhere. He's here somewhere.
I'm looking. Can't quite see him just yet, but we'll have a word. Yeah, I mean, Piggy Ryan, run it down. I mean, the Sigma doesn't really want you in the face. You want to stand back, throw those spheres, throw the accretion every now and then. Like,
it's unlikely. It's unlikely. I think you'll see these teams go to their comfort heroes. Piggy on the Sigma, making his debut in 2021, was very, very good. You know, made a name for himself, and that's why the Houston Outlaws put so much trust and faith in them. But someone they also put trust and faith in is Pelican, the Rookie of the Year from last year.
Damn. Hero damage, and Limbs currently second for Reaper this season. Solo kill sitting at a healthy #1. Oh, I just saw someone enter the lobby. Yeah, okay, Skewed is in. Looks like both teams are almost ready to rock and roll. Pelican said he's crying now, but no need to cry. Don't worry. Everything's fine.
Is it fine? They're down 2-0, Jack. Don't lie to Pelican.
Everybody's like, wait, why? I'm sad. It's okay, Pelican. You got this. You put a smile on everybody's faces when you let out a cheeky grin. I won't lie. It's all good.
It makes you wonder, you know, Pelican stats, looking at them right here, why do they have Merit on that hero? Maybe they have to have Pelican on that Tracer, but it just goes to show how flexible and versatile a player like Pelican is. He hasn't even played what I would consider his signature heroes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to go in. Everybody's spamming R in the lobby. There he is. Maybe that's the Outlaws. That's the secret plan that they have. Just Pelican popping off. We're going to Circuit Royale. The Gladiators 2-0 up. Quite dominant Lijiang. Eichenwalde, almost a similar thing. Circuit Royale, where it could all change. They need to do it. Again, home field advantage. They crushed the Dallas Fuel 3-0. Last time they played on LAN about, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
They got to tap into that again. And remember, this is the playoffs, so you get to choose your map. So the Houston Outlaws obviously very confident in their setup for this Circuit Royale matchup. We know that the Gladiators are no slouches, so that must mean that the Houston Outlaws have some confidence in what they're about to pull out on this map.
They just need that fire in their bellies. Or some spicy rum, I don't know.
Also, yeah, one of those two. Iris on the Baptiste, a hero he made his name on last year for the Atlanta Reign. Yeah, well, obviously very good in that rush composition, those double shields. So you know you're confident in what they're going to produce in the backline, but once again, I just have to hit this home. Merit on this Widowmaker, he's coming out on it. He's going to go head-to-head with Arns, but he also has to worry about Kevster potentially on that Hanzo, and Kevster's Hanzo, ooh,
pretty spicy. Yeah, double snipe is kind of an interesting augmentation of what we're seeing on Circuit Royale, especially on defense. I like it. Like, hey, that Sigma shield ain't gonna last too long when it got a couple of storm arrows flying at it. As well, a lot of pressure on that Widowmaker. Pelican, all he needs to do is put a little bit more emphasis, just trying to take down Arns, make them look the other way, so Merit has an easier time.
You see Pelican here on this Tracer as well, maybe going to maneuver around the map, help Merit in that Widow head-to-head, because it creates so much space, because the Houston Outlaws, the Los Angeles Gladiators, they have no space control. They just have a lot of damage.
A small thing too, actually, I just, like Sonic Arrow on the corner, you basically give Arns walls, like, that's also pretty nice. And Immortality field already burned.
Very early.
By the Outlaws, extremely early, Scott.
And you can see what the Gladiators' plan is. They're going to play back on this bridge, and it's going to force the Houston Outlaws and Piggy to walk forward. But then as soon as you walk forward, Arns is waiting, getting those headshots in, and the shield for Piggy is almost non-existent.
Yeah, it's disappearing in a blink of an eye. As soon as Kevster sees it up, it's just like, well, I just hit Storm Arrow, like, da-da-da-da-da, and you're basically donezo. That was a nasty shot onto Pelican. Pelican wants to be able to get on top of this bridge. Oh, dude, what?
What do you do against
He's doing this. And now look, Piggy's off to the right-hand side, but Arns just getting perma healed. Like, what can Piggy do? Not much behind the enemy team. His shield, maybe, just maybe, can cover their approach.
We see Pelican make the switch over to the Genji, realizing that Tracer flank is not going to give him space. Goes to the Genji, goes over the roof. I don't know if that's allowed.
Well, no, legal move, we're all good. Skew dice to a headshot, but both Zenyatta's now down. Outlaws finally making their move, pushing forward. Piggy didn't end up dying when he was on that large flank. The Gladiators can hold this corner though, Scott. They do have that window available, but it's on to Piggy's Flux to try and get something. This lamp's going to have to be rather huge. They do not have the Transcendence, but it's only space. In fact, he's just going to be more than fine. He just backs off.
It's a two-step going down these streets. They've gotten the first step. They've taken that space, but the Gladiators coming back to the Ant Matrix.
Yeesh. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Iris instantly dying. Double window opened up and Storm Arrows through. Dragon's on the high ground for a cherry on top. Lastro's got nowhere to run. Should be an easy clean-up. But Kevster does die. Unfortunate. Should be able to get back to the point rather quickly. And another nice stagger kill onto Pelican. Gladiators holding down the fort.
It's getting harder. Only 90 seconds remaining for the Houston Outlaws. Pelican has struggled to get any value so far. Merit's got a couple of nice picks, but they've now utilized that Flux, which is their big ultimate to try and get into these fights. They're going to have to try and get Pelican this blade, and Merit, he needs to start hitting some shots.
For the Outlaws, at least they have that Transcendence, so they can sustain through the Flux, unless you get headshot out of the sky. Very possible. Transcendence isn't going to save you there, unfortunately. There you go. Okay, Gladi is now playing back. They don't want to run it into the sights.
This is
still popping heads, though.
This is the 1-2 step that I was talking about. This final part of the checkpoint is where we see most holes. Big Flux, though, from space.
Big Flux, Transcendence coming out. Everybody is alive and well. Now Arn's up on the high ground. Pelican nearing this blade, but still Skewed sitting on that Transcendence. They should be good. The Payload's almost at the first checkpoint, but with 40 seconds to go, they are in trouble. A jump, not from Merit, but from Iris. And now they try and make some space, but what an arrow from Kevster. 2 snipers on the field, 1 takes out Merit. A Transcendence from Skew to push them forward, and Pelican's going pretty low on the sidelines. He cannot go in with this blade just yet, he is still so low. 19 seconds to go as the Gladiators use the Immortality field to keep themselves alive in this fight and push past them with the window. Skew takes 1, Shu another, there's the blade, half HP, cut down before he can even do anything. Space! With a beautiful left hook, and the Outlaws with a couple of seconds to go, they're not going to be able to touch. What? Is Merit going to step up to the plate? Absolutely not. The Gladiators complete round 1, stopping the Outlaws a couple meters before that first checkpoint.
Pelican just not able to get healthy enough to pull that blade after that Piggy Flux, which forced the Skewed Transcendence. And then by the time that he tried to pull the blade, there were already 2 people down, unable to get any space, unable to get any kills, and the Houston Outlaws struggling to get anything done on their offensive round.
Will the curse be broken? The
Surely.
reverse sweep curse. Surely. What? I mean, surely. Never say never, though.
I'm a little worried, but hey, this should be easy for the Los Angeles Gladiators to close out. You can tell their strategy, you can tell they're comfortable in that setup. Space coming in, map 3, nothing on him. He just comes up, puts a great performance on the Sigma. Everyone doing their jobs. It wasn't even like they did anything nice or tricky or special. They just did their jobs, and the Houston Outlaws, it's just hard, but look at this. We talked about the rush from the Houston Outlaws. They could pull it out. And coming from the top rope, like we said.
I want to see if Kevs is going to stick on the Sojourn. I doubt it very much. There you go, double sniper. Are they going to expect it? Probably. I mean, Sonic. There you go. Hello. What's up? Oh, instant switch to the Echo. I like it. Play super far range. You're against what? Pelican Merit? Sim May? Not too much to be scared of.
Houston Outlaws giving the space very early. After getting spotted, they just back up to the corner. And this gets hard because they have no pressure onto Arns. They're going to have to find a way to deal with him because if you leave Arns unchecked, oh, there they go. Through the
teleporting straight onto Skewed Arns. That's how you deal with that range gap. Straight on top of his head. Piggy just clobbers him.
And that's the cat's out of the bag. The Houston Outlaws, they're going to play that aggressive style. They're going to wait for the Gladiators to step up, start getting angles, and then they're going to TP until the space is isolated.
Yeah, nice wall, no immortality feel to Piggy. Just carving him up right now. And not only that, Scott, I mean, look, they get themselves 2 fights if they hold this close.
All of a sudden, they're starting to lose time, Gladiators. It's going to start getting out of the way. Arns needs to start finding some purchase, finding some picks, but every time it feels like he takes that angle, he gets some extra TP on it and goes again.
Run, Arns, please, someone help him. Oh, dearie me. It's not looking good. Arns can play all the way back, yeah, but that teleport does work. Oh, wow, that is not good for the Outlaws. They lose Pelican, and now look, the Gladiators stepping up to the plate. They need to end this fast. Immortality field from Iris has already been used. Piggy ends up going down, and they go crumbling just off of 1 pick. Merit does find the kill onto space, but it doesn't really matter. They have afforded themselves 2 fights, though, Scott, as they played so far forward.
Exactly, because they're playing forward, they give themselves 2 fights, but the spawn is so far for the Houston Outlaws, they're going to have to close the distance and get close, but they don't really have much going for them, and it's going to be very hard to cover off all the angles. Kevster has that copy. He's going to be able to play hyper-aggressive, and that's going to leave Arns safely in the back line.
The Blizzard coming online for Pelican. This wall could be big too for Merit. Could block off a lot of that healing, maybe isolate space. Who's the only one playing the payload. Arns playing a disgusting angle.
We've also seen Shu with the amplification matrix before. He's made miracles happen, he's done it himself.
There's Piggy, he's charging in, wall up to try and separate space. He's in trouble, he goes down. Shu using the window, it's a fair bit of damage, and look at that, a TP straight onto Shu. The Blizzard's coming out. That's an easy kill. Okay, the Outlaws making perfect use of that teleport from Merit.
I love that play by the Outlaws. They actually put it down originally, but didn't go through it. It was a bait. The entire Gladiators backline turns to look at the teleporter, and they were rushing down space in the front line. And now we're at 1:20 remaining, and the Gladiators, they need to get big value out of these ultimates. But look at the Outlaws. They have ultimates for days.
Yeah, never say never, Scott. Double support ult. There's the giant wall. The flux is coming out from space. It does hit a couple. That bait's a little bit too late. That beat doesn't find Iris. That's a lot of healing now down. They have to find something crazy. Piggy with a shatter could come up big. Straight under the payload might be good, but he has to get something. There's the shatter. It hits 2, but can they follow up? The copy from Kevster on to the May. He finds the kill onto Lastra, and that Blizzard doing a whole bunch of work. He is trying to kill them, but the immortality feels there. But the Los Angeles Gladiators, they just run it on in. A 3-0, the curse is broken, and the Houston Outlaws, home field advantage dissipating. And the Glads off to a good start in the Kickoff Clash.
Lastra getting a little greedy with that beat, not thinking they were going to require that one. Iris going down, almost having a great frisbee moment from across the spawn to save the team, but it just wasn't enough. The Gladiators putting on a clinic of their flexibility and their strength, and hopefully, as you said, the end of a reverse sweep curse that has been plaguing them so far in the Kickoff Clash.
Hey, it's maybe not what the crowd wanted. Maybe Houston a W here, but they still get their chance, of course. A little bit later on, they'll go down to the loser's bracket, but fantastic. You couldn't really ask for more, right, from the Glads. A quick and clean 3-0. Eichenwalde was a little bit closer. It felt like that secret thing that maybe Jake was planning didn't really end up working out. It was Iris versus Shu, and Diana came out on top the first couple of maps.
You can understand what the Outlaws are trying to do. Put a different spin on the composition they had already played. They played that Reaper, they played that Moira, allowing them to potentially be more aggressive with Dante to potentially stop him from getting isolated, but the Gladiators proving that they had an answer to what the Outlaws were pushing out.
Poor Reiner on the stage. Maybe has some choice words. We'll see.
We know he loves a little bit of banter from time to time. But, you know, Unter coming good on his confidence in the selection show, dominating the Houston Outlaws today.
All right, let's jump down to Danny, though. He's got an interview of Reiner. Let's take a listen.
All right, thank you guys. Yes, as Custa mentioned it, yes, I am here with Reiner from Los Angeles Gladiators. Everybody make some noise, yeah! All right, first 3 Overwatch of the day. You guys looked very dominant today. How'd you guys get it done?
I mean, coming into this match, we knew that Dante was going to be playing a lot because, you know, they're the Houston Outlaws, and they had to put a DPS player on tank. So our plan for this match was pretty much if Dante's in, expect Doomfist comps, and we found a way to counter that by either mirroring or using that Rhine comp. So that was pretty much like the focal point of our victory.
And that definitely did work because it was 3 Overwatch. And I do want to ask, personally, because Reiner, this was your first LAN event on the Overwatch League. You came in as a rookie, and you know, how did that feel? Were you nervous at all, or were you just super excited to just be on stage?
I mean, it was like a good blend of being nervous and excited, you know, but I do really good in these conditions, you know. It like gets the blood pumping, adrenaline flowing, and I play like probably the best I do, so happy to be at LAN.
All right. And one final question. Next match is against Dallas Fuel versus the Toronto Defiance. And I want to ask your prediction because whoever wins that match is going to be your opponent. What do you think?
So I'm feeling a little lucky today. So we obviously play these guys next. So I'm hoping for a Toronto 3-0.
Toronto,
I'm praying for it.
Amazing.
Some mixed reactions.
Mixed reaction. I like it, Reiner. Thank you so much. That is it for the post-match interview. Let's go back to Casta and Jaws.
Well, a little bit spicy there. A 3-0 for Defiant? Is that what the crowd wants? Really?
No. Those are fighting words in Dallas right there. I don't think anyone wants that. Obviously, I think he just wants to face the Toronto Defiant. Everyone's a little scared of the Dallas Fuel right now.
Yeah, they are looking rather clean. And again, home field advantage, right? Maybe didn't work out for the Outlaws, but maybe it does work out for Dallas Fuel. Let's have a look at the player of the match, though. Well, you just spoke to him. It's going to be Reiner. His Doomfist looked very, very clean against the Outlaws. A team that's known for the Dante Doom, right? But also is Reiner looking rather clean. I mean, hey, he's a Glad.
A man of many talents, it feels like, for him on the Gladiators. He's shown his ability to play all these things, and that's been such a big boon for the Gladiators, just being able to play that aggressive style, and no matter what he does, going toe-to-toe with Dante on the Doomfist, though, that is no slouch of an effort.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm so glad Doomfist is a tank now. You can do some crazy things. Everybody's just getting better with him too, which is also awesome. Reiner definitely deserving that one. Or maybe Shu, those nades are pretty crazy, but yeah, look at that. Damage per 10, almost at 10K. 24 limbs per 10, like, it was steamrolling.
And you could tell just in his ult charge generation, he was just getting it so fast, almost outpacing Dante from time to time. And I think that's just such a big thing for the Gladiators moving forward into the Kickoff Clash, because how do you prepare for them at this point? They've played everything. We saw them on Circuit Royale playing the Sigma. They played the Reinhardt. They played the Doomfist. They played the Winston. You can never know or prepare exactly what they're going to do, and that's going to be scary for any team facing them.
Extremely scary. You heard Danny down on the stage, though. Whoever wins this next match will face the Gladiators a little bit later on. It's going to be the Dallas Fuel versus the Toronto Defiance. We're going to go to a quick break, though. Don't go anywhere. That's a match you're not going to want to miss.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
And welcome to our game break. Zoe here, joined by Reinforce, and of course Necros joining us remotely as well. We got a game to break down. This one, however, was a little bit more of a quick affair.
Another thread in the bag.
I was about to say, I don't want to brag, but you know, you got that one right.
What happened, Necra? Come on.
Yeah, I know, Necra. How did that not work out?
Okay. Listen, I had to commit to the bit, all right? So, like, I don't mind if my bracket gets a little boomed. I still have Los Angeles Gladiators going to the grand finals, okay? So, I feel like I'm still okay.
All right.
No, that's you got the safety.
You're gonna be wrong again.
Yeah.
Congrats.
All right. Okay, listen, I can't wait to look at your bracket, honestly. I feel like I have to do some investigation in that regard.
Oh, it's
Maybe
spicy.
Tomorrow. Is it spicy?
It's spicy.
Well, if it's
some
spicy,
Capicola right there.
something.
Wait, I don't know if Capicola is spicy.
I don't think so.
It's fishy. I don't know. Well, Capicola's not fish either.
That's definitely not. I mean, yeah, never mind.
It's.
All right. Well, we're gonna have some
cookies up
culinary discussions, and also we will be looking at your bracket maybe tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. Now, I do want to talk about the match we just got to see. It pretty much. Again, everything we predicted, everything we pointed out heading into this one kind of came true. It was the Gladiators showing us the versatility, and the Outlaws just a little bit more one-dimensional there, Necro.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see just how well the Los Angeles Gladiators were able to adapt. I mean, Reinforce put it so well before we even hopped into this match, which is that Gladiators are really strategically inclined. You could even see that with the Hanzo counter pick coming through on Circuit Royale. We saw Kevster go with that versus Piggy Sigma, and then on top of that, you saw Kevster with the quick pick of the Hanzo to just be able to use the Sonic Arrow to sniff out what the Houston Outlaws were going to be doing on the defense there.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough if you're the Houston Outlaws. Just like on an individual level, like not even like the strategies or whatever. You're asking Pelican to just like, hey, can you go toe-to-toe with Kevster on the Tracer real quick? Can you do that for us?
Yeah.
Well, if that's not the case, then, well, you need the Houston Outlaws to find something else they can invest their resources in. Like, are you supposed to know like a Winston player? Well, you got Dante and Piggy, so that's also tough. And, well, I guess you got Merritt, who plays a really mean soldier, but we saw him sometimes on the Reaper here for the Houston Outlaws. I feel like the Houston Outlaws just, in this meta, they're like a pretty difficult place where you can't really have your best players in roles they really succeed in. If they wanted to lean into something like a Zarya, we've talked about it before, you can have Piggy playing the Zarya, and maybe you can have someone like Pelican play the Genji for them, and then Merritt can roll over to the Soldier. But we saw last week, they struggle against the Paris Eternal already, and you don't really have enough time to practice and get something going for yourself.
I was just about to
in
say.
the playoffs, yeah. So it's tough for the Houston Outlaws. I think if you're going into tomorrow's matchup, I feel like you kind of just have to commit and just go all in. But that's already what they sort of did with Lucio Moira, right? So
and then they go up against
I don't have
one
an
of the
answer
hardest
for them.
opponents as well, of course, in the Gladiators. So maybe that was just a little
true.
bit of a compositional mismatch
Gotta give them
there
credit.
as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, as you said, the turnaround time was obviously very, very short for them to like just bust something else out if they're already committed to the bit, and we appreciate that. You know, like. Commit hard and go down on that hill. Like, why not?
But they could come in tomorrow and just like surprise everyone, because that is the power of playing on a stage as well. If you're just like, well, we're just gonna go all in. We're gonna pick this composition and go all in, and then your opponents are like, whoa, what are you doing? What's going on here? And then you gotta figure it out and like puzzles, and you know, it's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. Some teams might roll up with Orisa, you know.
Yeah, what do we think about the Orisa, Necra? Would you recommend Houston Outlaws playing out the Orisa tomorrow?
No. No, I really don't recommend that.
All right. All right.
We're not quite there desperation-wise.
No, okay. All right. Well, give it a stage. No. Houston Outlaws usually then.
Yeah. Also, of course, there's going to be a bit of a reset, of course, after this tournament cycle is over. Heading into the next one, it's going to be a new patch.
Then I
was about to say, that would change everything.
I'm sorry. Stop your point.
That's fine, but I like the great minds think alike, and I like that that's the only thing which really stuck with us for like the entirety of the patch notes. It's like, that was all interesting. But Zenyatta can kick, though. Have you seen that? Now we do have one more match. Gladiators helped us play catch up here a little bit time-wise, as they made it a quick 3-0. But we have one more for you to go, and that is the Toronto Defiant taking on the Dallas Fuel. Now, Reiner already tried to rile up the crowd, predicting 3-0 for Toronto Defiant. I don't think he had that in his pick'ems, to be perfectly honest.
Do you think Reiner does pick him?
I doubt it. No, of course he is. Everyone does pick him.
Do you predict against himself? I feel like that'd be a bit like disingenuous, though.
Why against himself? No, he picked for Toronto Defiant winning over the Dallas Fuel.
All right. Yeah, all right. Sorry, let's actually do our job here. Sorry, I'm distracting.
Anyway, let's talk about the match. I mean, heading into this one, I think our upset alert here is on the lower side, I guess. Toronto Defiant, though, how could they get it done, Necro? Who do they have to rely on?
I think you're really looking at the back line of Toronto Defiant. Those are going to be your standout performers, and especially when we're playing on Overwatch 2, I think it's a lot easier to be able to see when the support line is doing such a good job, whether it's with those bio grenades coming out for the Anas, or if it's just Lucio's being able to get those final blows and save the team with some incredible sound barriers. That really is going to be the difference maker, to be able to outlast the damage output from the Dallas Fuel.
And who from the Dallas Fuel is going to shut that down?
Hanbin. If you're a Zarya, you can apply bubbles to your team, and it removes the anti-healing effect. So it's pretty powerful. I'm just gonna warn Toronto Defiant. If you land those, you gotta be careful that Dallas can dispel them. Just get rid of them. Dispel them.
Yeah, we have some magic coming our way in this next match.
Yeah, you have two. That's right, and I do think that Necro is right about the backline. It is the strongest part of the Toronto Defiant. Yeah. So no, I think Necro is right there. You probably want something out of Chorong on the Lucio or Twilight on the Ana, of course. Definitely the strongest part of Toronto Defiant, but Dallas Fuel, like, they're just so strong as a team. Like, it's going to be a very tough challenge for Toronto Defiant. So they'll have to conjure something up. Very magic-y in this.
Yeah, it's just a lot of spellcasting going on here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I appreciate it. And also there is, of course, the LAN factor, which can always pop in unexpectedly. You don't know.
Maybe Hot Press a land monster. Jaws can tell us all about that.
Exactly. So you never know what's going to happen, and that's what makes this so exciting and so interesting. This is going to be the last match of the day. I think the crowd is ready to make some noise. Get your popcorn, get a drink, and get ready to get hyped, because Toronto Defiant will take on the Dallas Fuel. What was that?
Water.
Water, yeah. Stay hydrated as well. We're heading back to Texas right after this break.
Posture check.
Welcome back to the Esports Stadium here at Arlington. Our penultimate game for day number 1. Toronto Defiant up against the hometown favorites, the Dallas Fuel.
It's gonna be a banger. The Dallas Fuel, last time they were in Texas, maybe not doing so hot, but we know they've made their redemption arc so far in the Kickoff Clash. They've been looking very good on the back of that Harbin Xayah. Toronto Defiant, big task ahead of them today.
Oh yeah, I mean, they recently faced off
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and the Dallas Fuel won 3-0. But the thing that still sticks in my mind with Dallas, when they faced Houston on LAN a little bit earlier on, they got 3-0.
It was a little silly though. Houston played the Doomfist. Obviously didn't work today, but it did work 4 weeks ago when we last saw them play. But the Dallas Fuel really defined themselves. They've invented the meta with the Xayah Reaper. We've actually seen Toronto mirror that composition, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them have that head-to-head today. But the nice thing about the Toronto Defiant, if they have another look, they're also willing to play Muse on that Winston, have Although come in. You know, we have Finale also on that Tracer. They have different looks, and I'm curious to see which one we see today.
I think a lot of people expected Toronto to do well coming into this season. There's a lot of name value on the team. They've had quite a nice schedule, to be fair.
Yep.
But then they also beat teams like the Houston Outlaws. I mean, there we go. I think we better get this one underway, though. Let's welcome the Toronto Defiant. There's not gonna be many cheers for them in the crowd. There's a few. Red versus blue, which is always quite nice.
A classic.
The Toronto Defiant.
When you look at this team, you have to highlight the back line. They got Twilight, who was a championship winner, phenomenal player, finally getting that mainstay spot on this team, especially on that Ana. But then Chorong has been an incredible rookie on that main support, having a lot of hype coming into the league, and he has delivered so far this season.
Yeah, Hopper's starting, which is cool. Like you said, there's a lot of different looks the Toronto Defiant can go with in this series. We'll be starting out on Control. So a lot of flexibility there.
Although in as well, big signal that they're going to play that Xayah Reaper composition. That's the thing that they've been leaning on. When Muse Finale come in, they play the dive. When Hopper and Although are in, they play that Xayah Reaper. And it's looked good. And that's the thing about them. They've actually adjusted, learned. It didn't look great at the beginning, but now they've gotten to a good point and they're starting to get wins. But it's very hard when you're copying the composition of the team that invented it, and then you have to face off against them in the playoffs.
Yeah, really tough. You hope you can improve on that invention, but you know whose name was Edison the inventor? Well, Edison, that's for sure. The Heat needs to be least in this game.
Has to be.
For them to stand a chance. I think, though, it's time to introduce the Dallas Fuel. We're going to jump down to Danny Lim on the stage to bring out the hometown favorites.
All right, everybody. The Defiants are sitting here, and we have empty seats. You guys all know why I'm here, right? Fuel fans, make some noise! I am actually going to introduce each and every single player that are going to be starting this match. Are you guys ready? I think you guys can do better because the players are literally right behind there. I think they want to hear you more. I said, are you ready? Dallas Fuel. Here is your first player. Player number 26. DPS. 강민서. 구리오. Player number 20. DPS. 김동하. 동하. Player number 8, Tank, 이의석, Fearless. Player number 31, support, Kwon-jun, Fielder. Player number 9, support, Han Hyun-seok, Chio. Player number 11, tank, Choi Han-bin, Han-bin. Player number 7, DPS, Kim Tae-hoon, Edison. And last but not least, player number 1, DPS, Kim Young-han, Sparkle. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your Dallas Fuel. All right, thank you everybody. You guys may take your seat. Starters, take your seat please. 자, 여러분 자리로 움직여 주시면 되겠습니다. 감사합니다. All right, everybody. Oh, I am excited for this match. Are you guys excited? All right, let's send things over to our casters, Costa and Jaws.
Cheers, mate. Let's go. Dallas Fuel. You heard the crowd already. Scott, man, seeing players walk out like that, especially someone like Sparkle.
They're so loud. Every time Sparkle walks onto the stage, people cheer, and we get to see him in the starting lineup today. We haven't seen him as much in the Kickoff Clash. We thought there was going to be a lot of Genji, but it hasn't been as much. So I am surprised to see him in here because over the last few games, they've had Doha in to play that soldier, and Sparkle's been taking a backseat.
It's blue versus red. Dallas Fuel versus the Toronto Defiant. Our final game of day number 1. They're ready to kick off. Of course they are. Han-bin starting 2 on the tank role, going up against Hopper. You mentioned it. We've seen a little bit of Fearless, but their Zarya comp is so clean.
It's just immaculate how they play. Han-bin and Edison, those are the 2 players you have to watch if you're keeping an eye on the Dallas Fuel. Edison goes in with that teleport and then Han-bin bubbles him. That is a problem. That's a threat that the Toronto Defiant are going to have to deal with. And no one has really found an answer to it so far because of how coordinated they are with it. And then you have the backline of the Dallas Fuel as well in Fielder and Chio. Chio's been a great rookie, filling in the shoes of Jexay from last year when they had that incredible run throughout the entirety of 2021. And he has been living up to the hype.
All right, we're going in. Map number 1. It's Lijiang Tower. It's going to be Zyos running into each other. Reapers doing the same. What's scary about the Dallas Fuel? Not only, like I said, being the inventor of this kind of composition, now the Defiant have to surpass. They've had maybe, a little bit of an easier run coming into the Kickoff Clash, but they've got such name value. They have Twilight in the backline. Like, that's a massive pickup for the Defiant organization. A team that I think people expected, maybe not doing so well, just looking historically, but this is their year to turn that around. And what better way to do that than right now?
As we talked about 2 weeks ago, the Toronto Defiant, they've already taken their beat down from the Dallas Fuel. You can take things away from that. You can learn from that. Let's see how they're willing to adapt and move on from that loss, and if they can come up with something new, something different, even if it's just minute micro play of understanding how to deal with the threats. It looks like Dallas Fuel is going to come out on their trademark composition of the Han-bin Zarya with that Edison Reaper, and Toronto Defiant taking that mirror.
Gonna unlock those gates. The Dallas Fuel want to meet the Glads a little bit later on. There we go. Eddie switching back to the Reaper. It's a mirror comp. Just complete skill matchup now.
and you can tell Dallas Fuel taking that Symmetra teleporter, but Chio down before the fight's even begun.
Almost instantly, Twilight hits a fat nade right to the backline. Phil and Chio already dead. Okay, that is how you want to start a series.
We talked all the big game about Twilight on that Ana, and he's coming up big early on. They need to keep that going. Don't give Dallas Fuel an inch, because they will take a mile.
All right, Toronto got the point. Okay, here it is. Time to show up. Well, Reiner, was he right? A 3-0 at the Defiant. I don't think it'll be that much of a clean sweep, but it'll be a close game for sure. Dallas Fuel rotating through White Room. Try and make their way onto the point. A nade from Fielder. Doesn't quite find anything, but they've got to be scared of Twilight. Sparkle on the flank. Dude. If you mess with Choron.
Harbin's so low. Look at him on the point, and Fielder's dead. They don't have that presence on the point right now. It just feels like they're walking into the meat grinder that is the Toronto Defiant, and they haven't found any purchase. Look at the ultimate charge across the board. Twilight's coming up to that nano. Edison's only at 40% ult. He hasn't done anything so far in this map. What are we going to see here from the Dallas Fuel? It's good to be back.
You know who the crowd's behind. There's the Nano onto Harbin, close to that grab. Use a bubble to cleanse himself and kills Twilight. Sparkle using that visor for some covering fire, but can he get damage done? A humongous grab from Hotbar. Everybody sucked on in. And the Dallas Fuel, it looked like a good start to the team fight, but Hotbar coming out huge.
Hotbar with an enormous graviton surge. The Dallas Fuel getting a head full of steam with that first pickoff, and then Hotbar hits the brakes on that one. The silver lining if you are Dallas, Toronto Defiant has used their bag of tricks. Dallas Fuel now have that graviton surge for Harbin. Is he going to be able to find the same bit of value? There's a Lucio behind them right now.
You step up to the plate, son. You're going to get some. Hopper ends up going down. Shio using that beat to re-engage. Hisu tried to get a little bit funny with it and get to the back line, but it wasn't successful. The Toronto Defiant, yeah, they're on 90+%, but the Fuel, they want to fight, and they're here to stay.
I thought I saw Chorong hiding in the corner, through with that little silhouette in the back. Toronto Defiant recognizing they're at a disadvantage, going for something a little different, playing for that flank, trying to punish, but Harbin with a great grab and a great response of the aggression by Chio with the sound barrier. So now Dallas Fuel have the positioning. They can't drop another fight. Hisu has that Death Blossom, so does Edison. How are the Toronto Defiant going to enter onto this point? Because they have to make this slow bit of aggression, and Harbin already has a bit of energy going for it.
Toronto Defiant, you know, they can wait. Twilight's very close to the Nano. Death Blossom available for Hisu. Where's he TP? Straight to the back. Does he get any damage done? A little bit. Use that Wraith Form to get away. Edison, the same. So both Reapers having to play a little bit more safe, but Edison a little bit less so. There's the Nano, the speed, and the kills for Edison. Picking up Hisu and Twilight, you're long gone. The Dallas Fuel, holding it down.
Edison proving why. He said in an interview recently, I'm the best Zarya in the league right now. Absolutely putting on a show. We saw Hisu try and go in early as well, take that bubble, but as soon as he came out of that teleport, he instantly had to rate out. Edison on the other hand, waiting with open arms, but Sparkle's down from across the map from Aldo with a great Helix rocket.
You cannot let that happen, but look at that. Instantly response from the Fuel. Chio getting the boob onto Twilight. Unfortunately, Harbin a little bit too deep. Nano Boost was used, but another boom by Chio. No way can you let this happen, although tried to come back with the visor, but Sparkle's got a better one. That's a double kill. The Dallas Fuel planting their feet firmly on the point. The Toronto Defiant lose 2 people to a boom.
Dallas Fuel proving why it doesn't matter what you do to them, they always have an answer what you provide. The rookie Chio coming up big with 2 incredible boops, and the veteran Sparkle putting the nail in the coffin with the visor. Harbin getting close to that grab, but Hopper's got another one. Is he going to go huge?
Overtime is here, 99-98. This could be a full blowout for the Defiant. The graviton surge in the back, but Hopper can't do much. He's stuck inside Harbin's grab. Dallas Fuel used that beat to push them forward, and although he's now dead, the Defiant, they've got the Death Blossom to use, but Sparkle just dishing out the damage, and now Harbin jump into the payload, but Hisu, where did that come from? A triple Death Blossom to end the Dallas Fuel. Are you serious? A TP onto the body, just pay him respects, give him the little clap. Hisu Hisu, massive play at the very end to clutch the round.
Hopper getting a little bit greedy with that Graviton Surge, trying to throw to the backline, absolute whiff. And then Hisu heard me chirping about Edison, heard Edison chirping a little bit about the Reaper and says, I'll do it myself. Absolutely clutch play from the Defiant, and this is an important first round from the Defiant because that sets the tone for the rest of the match. We know you invented this Xayah composition. We know this is how you like to play. We're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it better. Dallas trying to get behind their fans right now.
Let's have a look at how that ended up going down. Oh, perfectly placed in the doorway. God, that was a clean TP. There you go, Dallas Fuel now switching up the composition, Scott. They're going on the Mei instead.
It makes sense. That might be why Sparkle is the lineup right now, so they could play this Mei setup. You see them getting that first point advantage, getting control of the white room, but Hisu's going in.
Little TP doesn't really have too many bubbles at his back, but already takes out Sparkle. With that removed, you don't get the walls to isolate the rest of the team. Nice sleep and a return sleep, in fact, by Fielder. Stops Hisu from finishing off Hanbin, although still dishing out a ton of damage. Like, it's impressive at that point too. I mean, you lost Sparkle, you can't separate the team, and then all those just free firing.
That is that big difference between the Mei and the Soldier. That Soldier just pumps out so much. Sparkle getting caught off guard with that aggression by Hisu, and now they need to find some better walls.
He is charged up and ready to go. Chio gets naded, and unfortunately, although finishes him off, Hanbin still doing a fair bit of work. Can they come back? Fielder goes down, Sparkle and Edison just so low. Losing a fight back-to-back. You know what that? Hey, happened last round. Maybe it can happen again. Toronto Defiant looking good so far. Nano Boost and the grab coming up.
The exact same story from last round. It feels like Dallas Fuel is just walking into a meat grinder. Toronto recognizes they're playing the Mei, setting up that disengage, and then Dallas Fuel are dying before they can even really get in the fight. But we're starting to get ultimates up. Twilight with the Nano Boost, Fielder with the Nano Boost. How are they going to put these up? But Hopper with another grab. If it's following last round, we're going to see a big one.
Nano Boost onto Hanbin. He's very charged up. There's a wall to isolate. Can the Defiant respond? Yes, they can with a grab. Sparkle is caught in it too. Puts himself in a little ice cube, but doesn't end up surviving the onslaught of damage to follow. The Toronto Defiant off the back of a grab win that fight. 60% in building, but Dallas Fuel coming back. Not only with a grab, they got Blizzard, Beat, and potentially that Death Bottom too.
They have the ultimates. Toronto committed a lot to that. They used the Graviton Surge, the Beat, and the Nano themselves. So this has to be a must-win fight for the Dallas Fuel, especially as we watch the percentage tick up. 80%, this is last fight territory.
They need to turn this around. The Beat to counter the flanking visor. The Graviton Surge on point. They're still using that overhealth and they should be good. Nice nade by Fielder. Finishes off Hopper. Although playing so far back, knows he hasn't got a tank to stand behind now. A good little flank does kill Edison, but can he do much more? Doesn't look like it. The Dallas Fuel only burn 2 ultimates in that fight to flip the point.
That was a big team fight win from the Dallas Fuel right there. As you said, only using the Beat, only using the Graviton Surge. They have those big Mei Ultimate and Death Blossom, okay? Sparkle needs to find something with this Mei Ultimate. He needs to find the wall, and they're going early.
The wall is down. Edison is out. Didn't want to match up against Hisu, especially with the backup he's pumping in. Death Blossom available, but Hisu hits it first. A nice sleep onto Hanbin, can't apply those shields. That Blizzard separating everybody though, and Sparkle kills Twilight. Hanbin trying to get damage in, and he manages to help Sparkle finish off although, but Hopper cleans him up. The Dallas Fuel on their last limbs on this point. They've got to stop Hisu from doing the damage. The wall will do just that, but Fielder gets run down by Hopper. A nice little double kill. Oh, Edison somehow gets the kill onto Hopper in fact. Hopper couldn't quite escape, and Chiyu comes to the rescue. The Dallas Fuel are still in 50% now.
Chiyu coming to the rescue again, always coming in clutch. Great play by Edison, recognizing, dies early in that fight, but comes back, puts that hammer down. But once again, we talk about it, the Hopper grab, it needs to be better than it was last round.
Hanbin switched over now to the Doomfist. Look at that unreal nade. Hits Hisu, and although Hisu pops that Wraith, cleanses the nade, but you can't cleanse the damage, son! Dallas Fuel just demolishing the Defiant in the neutral. 75%. This is last fight territory, Scott.
I want to see something different from Dallas. They need to catch the Toronto Defiant off guard. If they just take this fight head-to-head, they don't have the ultimates to close it out. This is final fight territory. Dallas have nothing in the tank. I want to see something different. Maybe aggression with this Chio sound barrier to catch the Defiant off guard.
Wow, Hopper almost instantly killed on the walk-up. There you go, dive to backline. There's the beat, that's what you want, but that's a massive grab. Can they do the damage? I don't think they can. The wall's going to stop a lot of it coming through too. The Dallas Fuel are farming the backline of the Toronto Defiants. They're scattering. They still need to touch the point. A tracer pick from Although to get there in time, but Hisu unlikely now to do anything in this next fight. He's dead. It's up to Although and Chorong to get back. Twilight's got the nano in 10%, but it's up to Sparkle in this little 1v1. Chorong is here. And so is Twilight. In fact, Nano up on Although. Can Although find a one clip? He's trying to. Hanbin puts up the fist and says, not today. OT still in session as the Dallas Fuel are coming back in. Death Blossom approaching for the Defiant, but they've lost Twilight first yet again. The Nano onto Edison. That's a whole bunch of damage. They're focusing down Hopper, and they finish the kill, and they might just finish the job. Overtime is here. Defiant are no more. And the Fuel, they're tying up Lijiang.
Great composure from the Dallas Fuel right there, recognizing their win condition, going aggressive, not making the same mistakes they did last time. Kept Hisu in check. They got the crowd behind them right now. They're feeling good. Once I said earlier, you give Dallas Fuel an inch, they will take a mile, and Dallas Fuel managed to claw their way back in that round from what started to be a shaky one.
And again, you're making it to 90+% if you're Toronto Defiant. You did it once, you got Gardens. Couldn't do it again on Control Center. Will the same thing happen? All right, Night Market now.
Is Sparkle going to come out on the Mei? He's on the Symmetra right now. I doubt he'll commit to that. Just teleports out. Is he going to commit to the Mei? No, going over to the Soldier. So we're going to have a complete mirror in this first fight. Dallas Fuel get positioning first with that Symmetra teleport, and they're holding that corner. We have a sleep on Hopper, who's not able to take that positioning. And using bubbles for energy, that's the one main difference we see between the Dallas Fuel and the Toronto Defiant in the past. Hopper likes to use those bubbles personally to get energy, while Hanbin likes to give it to Edison. Hopper's found his way to the point. The Toronto Defiant going to get the first cap, but Dallas Fuel have something to say about it.
Yeah, they do contest, although on a sick flank. Nice nade from Twilight. It's a pretty even fight so far, and Hanbin has slept for a brief moment. A wake up from Although. He's trying to dance around. Look at that. The healing station too strong. Can Eddie find the kill? He does. Although he's dead. He's being escorted along by Chio, but now Chio's doing the damage that's needed. The Defiant, they're sitting on the point, Scott, but they got no healers left. Twilight went down so early, and Edison, with not only the passive, but Chio just healing him throughout this fight. It's so hard for the Defiant to do anything. Chio's picking up so many kills. His life eventually put to an end, but the Dallas Fuel, they take the point.
We always talk about Sparkle, we talk about Edison, we talk about Hanbin. Chio's making his name known right now. Absolutely having those crucial mid-fight impacts, getting those kills, staying alive more importantly, and closing out these fights. And Dallas Fuel need that because Toronto Defiant keep finding these first picks somehow.
Hisu is so far behind in terms of ult charge right now. 50% to Edison's ult. There you go, Death Blossom in the back. He gets one, Sparkle finishes another. The Dallas Fuel, they're going to wipe Toronto Defiant. They're going to have to go again. And it's the first time, in fact, the Dallas Fuel have won a first fight, so they're pretty happy with themselves, I bet.
Edison goes down, but the damage was done at that point, and that's the coordination between Hanbin and Edison that we know and love. Edison goes in, gets that bubble, and Edison is just able to live just long enough to get some of those kills and close out that fight, and that's just a one ultimate fight win. Toronto Defiant trying to get through this choke again.
Graviton Surge is coming online. Hopper a percentage point away. Beautiful sleep onto Hisu. It was almost too easy. Wraith Form and a health pack will heal him up. A Graviton Surge from Hopper gets little to nothing. A nice beat from Chio, and now the Dallas Fuel knowing they can just back off. Hey, look at that. That's a lot of damage from Hisu, but we can just run away. They come straight back to the point, and the Dallas Fuel negates so many ultimates. Defiant's bank basically empty. The Fuel still in control.
Yeah, great disengage by the Dallas Fuel, recognizing they're losing that fight, and then they re-engage. Hopper gets too aggressive right there, expecting they need to get to this point. A little bit of desperation, if anything. Dallas Fuel close it out, and as you said, Toronto have nothing left in the tank other than the Hisu Death Blossom. They're going to have to find magic because there's 10% remaining, and Dallas Fuel holding aggressive.
He's done it once. Can he do it again at the very end of the round? 95%. Defiant need to touch. Looks like, although, switch to the Tracer to do just that. So it is going to be a 5v4 in this choke point. But Dallas Fuel working their way back. They know maybe they need to be a little bit scared of Hisu. But it's where he teleports and where he positions himself is going to be what's important.
There he goes.
Here. Straight to the back. He's got a bubble on top. But instantly, the Dallas Fuel just burning him down. That ultimate completely negated. A nice nano boost onto Harbin. He's not that charged up, but he's still doing damage. Hopper and Twilight take out Sparkle and Edison, as now it's a 3-on-3. And Twilight now in trouble. Make that a 2-on-3. Harbin still holding down the fort. Choron can continue to touch, but the Graviton Surge online for Harbin. Just throw it at him. You know they have to continue this fight. The Defiant found the flip somehow, and they're building up percentage, but Harbin just sits there with the grab. Oh, Hisu! Not where you want to be. Dallas Fuel with 99% and OT ticking through. Hopper with the Graviton Surge. He's 10% away, but can he actually survive? A nice little double B-hop through the window. Okay, what is this, Tony Hawk? A nice post bomb from Although. It's good, but Harbin just rushing down the back line. Twilight is in trouble, keeping the rest of his team alive, but so is Choron. Choron gets nanoed so he can use the beat. Hopper coming back strong too. Somehow, such a scrappy fight is won by the Toronto Defiant. They're going to find the flip and build percentage.
Timely moment for the Toronto Defiant to get all their ultimates. The unfortunate part of that is they used all of them. In the panic of that final fight, it's not the worst thing. Obviously, you need to win the fight, but now Dallas Fuel coming in with a wealth of ultimates. Sparkle on that visor is going to force so much positioning from the Defiant, put them in that corner, and Edison's going to close that door with the Death Blossom. Keep an eye out for that. Here we go, Sparkle with the visor.
There's the visor. He's playing rather safe. Edison's been slept, but instant Death Blossom. And in fact, Death Blossom disappearing completely. Oh, nice little boot. Is that a double kill? No, it's just one. It's Twilight. Unfortunately, the Dallas Fuel's still bleeding. Not burning blue right now. Defiant are holding down the fort. And look at that. Edison got slept mid Death Blossom and Sparkle's visor. Found little to nothing.
Twilight sleeps Edison going into that fight. That is the crucial moment of that fight. Edison isn't able to get that space, has to force it late into the fight, and some great play by the Defiant backline to stay alive. Now Dallas Fuel, they don't have those ultimates anymore, and we're going into